Board Game Geeks, Brian Hazard here on GameSpasm. I may or may not have posted a video that Alan and I did where we died horribly while playing the new event Horizon expansion for Exodus Proxima Centauri. And I want to redeem that because we were hoping to review the bits and pieces and new modules, and we died so fast that we did not even get to see most of them. So today I have my partners in crime here, my beautiful wife, Jenny, the nurse, Nurse Jenny, and then we have Miriam over here, and Bridge holding the camera, and we are going to be playing a 4-player game of Event Horizon with every module we can stuff in, except for the Centaurian Stronghold, which cannot be played with the Proxima Centauri Sun in the middle of the game. So all the modules we are using, and we are going to play the game. I'm not going to record it, but we are going to get people's takes afterwards to see what they think about the new modules. Before we start, I do want to just let everybody talk a little bit about their faction and what they do and how they think this is going to go. So why don't we start with someone blonde? Who wants to talk about that?
Hi, this is my favorite game in the whole world. There are a million games in the world that are tied for second favorite, but this is my absolute favorite. So I'm super excited to play the new expansion. I am the Hanzia Dynasty, which means I can build ships more easily and build big engines that let me go anywhere and basically shoot people all the time. That's the plan.
And kamikaze.
Oh, I also have some really awesome little ships that I can turn into kamikaze ships where before combat even starts, I can blow this up and just damage everyone around me with the debris. So I'll be doing a lot of that.
Yeah. And I will say that as a serious theocracy, my abilities revolve around manipulating the political deck, and I have clone factories, so I can get population on other planets by building my factories ahead of time. So that's really the gist of my guys.
So I am the Blackwater faction.
Borg.
Like the Borg. And I don't have a good handle on what's going on, and this should be interesting. I'm going to enjoy the game a lot, and I'll talk about it more afterwards.
She has EMPs. You have EMPs. You know that.
I have lots of things.
It's true.
I might have a better understanding later.
Okay. Let Bridge tell you about his faction.
I've got the Solaris Confederation, and they seem to specialize in weapons of mass destruction, where this game, and one of the turn orders is firing weapons of mass destruction. So I think my personal goal in this is to be firing, 15 or 20 missiles every round, just because I think it'd be funny.
All right.
Bridge is dangerous. I love Bridge, but Bridge must die.
Yeah, see? Love and marriage. So there we have it, folks. We'll see you in a little bit with our thoughts on the game. So even though we're in an absolutely terrific hurry because this game took 5.5 hours and we all have to go, we did say we were going to say what we think after the game. So while we're cleaning up, Miriam.
My favorite part was when Mike told me, you're still not going to win. And then the end part when I did win.
That's right. So Miriam won with 74 points. Bridge, what did you think of the expansion bits?
I just liked blowing up my planet successfully.
That was fantastic.
It was pretty cool.
How about what do you think about the outpost?
I don't know, I cloaked, so I ignored them.
Fair enough.
Which might be why I didn't win.
How about the satellites and the jump gates?
If I had remembered to use their bonuses, combats might have gone differently.
How about the new planets?
I can't tell the difference.
Okay.
I didn't add that I do like the changes. Having those crazy Centaurian resistance people actually be hard to fight really changes things.
What did you think of the Centaurian outposts?
They're pretty tough.
And the resistance ships? Those were really tough.
These ships were...
They were insane.
I mean, I only ran into them a couple of times, so...
All in all, Miriam, thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, Bridge?
All thumbs up.
Jenny, thumbs up? Thumbs up. Okay, and I also give it a thumbs up. All right, guys. Huh. He's wearing different clothes. Hey, guys, what's going on? I wanted to add a little addendum here to the end of the video so I could actually take a second and tell you about my review of the modules that we played with last night. We had to end in a hurry because of scheduling. The game went a little longer than planned, so we didn't have a lot of opportunity to talk and say what we wanted to say. Module 1 is bonus actions. I like them. They add a little flavor to the game. They don't require any extra explanation. So Module 1, good. Module 2, Centaurian Resistance. Huge effect on gameplay. Much more challenging. Definitely makes it so that the Centaurians aren't an afterthought. And having to keep somebody parked to make sure that they don't come back to life and become a problem again during the upkeep stage really changes the dynamic of the gameplay. But I like it. It's a good module, a good expansion, a great way to update the Centaurian resistance using components that are already existing in the game. So that one's good. Module 3 is Centaurian Outposts. This is the one that adds ground combat to the game. I also liked this. It used to be that if you had landing maneuvers, taking over planets was a given. It was a done deal. I think ground combat, especially if it's not too complicated, they did a good job of implementing it here. There's a great rewards if you actually manage to take out the outposts. So both of those, Module 2 and 3, I think were very solid. Module 4 is Exploration. That is when we're flipping tiles upside down. This is a must-add. There might be games, if I'm playing with someone new, that I wouldn't include the Centaurian Outposts and the Centaurian Resistance, the increased difficulty. I don't think I'll ever play again without Module 4. The exploration is huge to me and really makes the game actually a 4X. So far, digging all of them. I don't have any problems with them. Module 5, New Planets. It's variety. They gave you a ton of them. No complaints here. Enjoyed playing with them. No problem. Module 6, Proxima Centauri. We used it. We actually did use it. Nobody bought the technology. There's so many things to buy now in the game. There's so many technologies available. You have to be careful not to just spend your CP all willy-nilly and get just this, that, and another thing. You need to specialize and decide what you're going to do. So if you're doing that, it's hard to justify spending 23 CP on the shield upgrade if it's a maybe. If you're playing in a 2 or 3 player game, it might really be worth it because most of the map is going to be considered affected by solar winds. If you're playing in a larger map, then you just don't know if it's going to happen. We didn't really dive into it that much. It wasn't super tempting to sort of get into. So, not good or bad for Module 6. Module 7 was Jump Gates. Somebody built one. That happened. And early on in the game, we got an event card that created a wormhole that pretty much connected two very distant parts of the map in a 4-player game. So the jump gates just didn't seem to they just didn't come into play. At first it seemed like they were going to be too powerful to be able to just jump all these ships to somewhere all the way across the board. But you have to get there first. You have to send a ship out and they have to survive a conquest phase long enough to be able to build a jump gate during the build, during the action phase. So there is a big risk in trying to make it happen. So if you manage to pull it off, you probably deserve it. It got built. It didn't play a huge part in our game. That's not a fault of the module. That just didn't happen. Module 8 was communication satellites. A couple of them got built, but there's just not enough money and so many things to do that we didn't buy them. It's not a knock on the communication satellites. We had somebody playing the Titan Diarchy, which is the weapons of mass destruction lunatics. He was throwing missiles like crazy. And he could have utilized it, but the technology that comes with them already gives him such excellent range across the board that he didn't find it necessary to build satellites in order to improve that range. I think we overlooked the value of satellites, given that they do give you a bonus in combat, +1 damage for each combat round, is a good bonus. We just didn't take advantage of it. I think part of it was that we incorporated all of the modules and maybe there was just too much to keep track of. That is totally against what the book says. The book says you should just do a couple and get used to them a little bit at a time. The problem is that we only get to play Exodus 2 or 3 times a year because it is such a long game and it's hard to get enough people together. So we don't want to wait and do a couple at a time. We wanted to throw it all in and make it happen. But not a bad add-on to the game. Let's talk about the last 2 modules here, Module 9 and 10. Module 9 is energy barriers, and I don't feel that they added anything to the game. I mean, they take nothing, right? It just takes a little time at the beginning of the game to put them down. But if you're playing with the planets flipped over and you don't even know where to put it, if you have an opponent that's right next to you in a 4-player game, an energy barrier is almost not going to do much to stop them from coming over and giving you a hard time. If another person decides to put their energy barrier close enough to that one, it might have an effect. I just don't get them. We didn't get anything out of them. They didn't help or hinder the game to any point that they even have a purpose for existing. I don't like them. I probably will not use them again. And the last module is Module 10, Leaders. These could be a pretty dangerous mixed bag if you're playing with Edge of Extinction. There is a leader that gives you the ability to double the first 5 CP you use during the entire council stage. So that means that your first 5 VP are doubled for the votes for the different political decisions, for the election. It was a problem for me because I was playing a very serious thing. A serious theocracy, and their whole thing about playing purple is that you're supposed to control the metagame and control the laws and such. Miriam, who was playing Hanzia, just happened to get the leader that doubled all of her, and that made it very difficult for me to do what I was supposed to do. Now, again, that's not why I didn't like it. What worried me is that if the player who's playing the serious theocracy also gets the card that gives them double, it really makes it too easy for them to run away with the game. I think the leaders would be good if you are playing with just the base game and Event Horizon. I do not think it's a good combination with Edge of Extinction. There are too many wild combinations that could happen. Even if you play with just the base game, some of the leaders are great, and some of them are not. When you compare, let's just say that Miriam used 5 CP in every single vote, in every council stage. So every council stage, she would get 5 extra in each area, so that's 10 extra CP, and it lets her automatically win all ties involving her. So that's 10 extra CP every round, and in a standard length game with Edge of Extinction built in, that's 50 extra CP she got for free, and the ability to win ties. That's a very powerful card. Jenny got a card that gave her an extra Dark Raider and an extra Fighter, I think. Those cards do not compare to each other. They are not equal. So, I mean, if I'm remembering, and it is really a Dark Raider and a Fighter, the Fighter is 2 Exinium and 3 CP, and a Dark Raider is like 2 CP. So she got 5 CP and 2 Exinium. Miriam got 50 CP and the ability to win all ties in her favor. I think that these were not balanced enough, and I will probably not play with them again because I have no intention of not using Edge of Extinction when I play. The leaders are not, I don't love them. That said, overall, I really do like the expansion. I was exhausted by the end of our game last night, but happy. It was a fun game. Our scores were Miriam won with 73, I think. I had 69. Bridge had 40-something. Jenny had 20, in the high 20s. And she was really frustrated. I wonder if the reason that she didn't do well is because she didn't focus enough on the specialties of Blackwater. I think in Edge of Extinction, you really need to be paying attention to that side technology board and make sure you're buying the things that make your particular race good at what they do. I almost screwed that up too because I didn't get fringe politics for the serious theocracy until 2 rounds into the game, which was silly because that's the main focus of my people is using the incredible political sway that they have. Anyways, that's enough of that. I just wanted to follow up with you guys and give you my take on the new expansion. I like it. I'm always going to use it. The pieces are always going to be added in. I think the energy barriers and leaders are done for us. Their biggest benefit is that they give you something else as an option to use. Another dynamic gameplay choice that you can use depending on which race you're playing and what it is you're trying to do. So that's enough of that. I've already talked about this game ad nauseum. Say what you like in the comments or say nothing at all. Either way, folks, I will see you on The Geek. Take it easy.